Hello everyone and welcome back to I Film Things. I am Philip and today I'm going to teach you how to do 5 different Luma effects. Effect number 1 is the Luma transition. So with your clips that you're going to transition between already on your timeline, you're going to go to the effects panel and drag and drop the Luma effect onto your first clip. Now in the effects control panel, we can see the threshold and cutoff values. The threshold affects the darker values that are transparent, and the cutoff sets the opacity for the non-transparent values that are set by the threshold. So in order to key out light areas, you need a low threshold and a high cutoff value. Now that's out of the way, let's make a transition. Set the threshold and the cutoff at 0 somewhere close to the end of your first clip, and make keyframes in both. Then go forward in time and flip the values. I would recommend having the last keyframes be a couple of frames apart, because then that will make a smoother transition. And to finish off, you can always add a default crossfade transition at the end of your first clip. This effect is good for transitioning between sky or sea shots. Number 2 is the Mist Filter Replicator. A mist filter is a lens filter for your camera that softens and diffuses the highlights while filming. Now these types of filters can cost some serious cash, but this way is completely free. Get a great shot of a car on your timeline and then duplicate it to the track above, so track 2. Then disable visibility on track 1 and apply the Luma effect to the clip on track 2. Next, play around with the cutoff until you only have the brightest highlights left. I knocked the mic ever so slightly. Don't know if you picked it up, but I did. Then go back to the effects panel and apply the Gaussian blur to your top clip. Select the repeat edge pixels box and play around with the blurriness until it looks good to you. Then enable visibility on track 1 and voila! It's that easy to get the mist filter look. Effect number 3 I call Retro Glimmer. Take a clip of highlights showing in the hair of your character, duplicate it to track 2 and then disable track 1 again. Apply the Luma effect to track 2 and use the cutoff to make your highlight selection. Next, apply the directional blur effect and set the direction to about -45 degrees and the blurriness to around 30. Then copy paste the effect and set the blur direction to 45 degrees. Lastly, enable track 1 and there is your Retro Glimmer effect. Ooh, it's so shiny. Effect number 4 is Echo Trail. So for this effect you need to have a shot of a car moving dynamically within your frame at night. Once again, duplicate the clip, disable track 1, apply the Luma effect, and play around with a cutoff. Now this might not go as well as our previous effects because now we have a lot more highlights within the shot. So we'll have to do a little bit of masking within the opacity properties. Make sure to feather it a little bit, track the selected mask forward with the little play button right there. If this doesn't work properly, then you'll have to do it manually, by placing keyframes over time and adjusting the mask's position. So once that's done, we're going to apply the echo effect to our clip, then set the echo operator to composite in back. Make a keyframe at the start of the clip in the number of echoes value, and set it to 0. Then go 10 frames forward in time and set the number of echoes to 10. And this will create a new echo each frame. And to make it just that little bit smoother, set the echo decay to 0.75. Of course you can play around and choose a different value, but this one seems to work for me. Also, don't forget to enable track 1 at the end. And that's pretty much the effect, but you can also set 2 more keyframes about 10 frames apart and have the effect disappear to your liking. And effect number 5 is glitching and color grades. Wait, what? Is that right? It says that's right. You know the drill by now. Duplicate, disable, Luma, sorted. Set the threshold to 0 and then use the cutoff to select your highlights. And then we're going to apply the tint effect to our clip on track 2. So this effect usually colors the blacks and the whites, but since we keyed the brightest whites, it won't affect those. Now you can get a bit creative with the colors and play around with the amount, and you'll end up with a nice color grade without affecting the brightest highlights. Now onto the glitch. Get rid of the tint and replace it with the color balance RGB effect. Then set the red value to 200 and the green and blue to 0. Then duplicate that clip 2 more times and do the same thing to the green and the blue. This leaves you with a red clip, a blue clip, and a green clip. Use the position properties to offset each clip, and then you will be left with a split RGB effect. Now select those 3 clips and nest them. Wait, what? Is that right? It says that's right. As always, I recommend you play around with these effects and see what wild things you can create. And that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, I hope it helped you in any way, shape or form, and as always, stay safe, stay creative, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!